Maybe you've cut back on wine. You've changed when you go to bed and when you get up. You've tried blue light glasses. Maybe you've experimented with melatonin, L-theanine, magnesium, GABA, glycine, and still it just seems like nothing is working. Well, I can relate. I've been struggling with my own insomnia issues for about 5 years. My goal is 7 hours of sleep every night. It feels kind of reasonable to me, but I just can't seem to hit that target consistently. My Apple Watch shows that I average less than 7 hours and plenty of nights drop below 6 hours. I finally talked with my primary care physician, and he referred me to a sleep specialist, and both of them recommended the same thing. It's called CBTI, or Cognitive Behavioral Therapy for Insomnia. It's the most evidence-based treatment that we have for insomnia, one that apparently, according to the research, actually works. So I made an appointment. The only problem is the wait is over 2.5 months. CBTI is apparently in high demand. While I'm waiting, I picked up the next best thing. That is a book called Goodnight by Colleen, Carney, and Rachel Manber. The book walks through the same process that most CBTI providers follow, and it's been pretty helpful, I must say, so far. But CBTI is maybe a bit counterintuitive in my experience. The cognitive part is about your thoughts, especially those thoughts that can fuel insomnia. I don't ever sleep. I never fall asleep. If I don't sleep, tomorrow's going to be a disaster. If I don't sleep tonight, I'm going to get heart disease or Alzheimer's in the next few years. Well, I've had all those thoughts, frankly, as recently as this past week. CBTI helps to train your brain to challenge those thoughts. Are they actually true? Are they helpful? Do we need to treat every missed night of sleep as an absolute catastrophe? Well, maybe there is an element of truth there, but those thoughts don't have to be the final word. The behavioral side of CBTI is also a bit counterintuitive, like sleep restriction. If you're not getting enough sleep, going to bed earlier seems logical. It did to me. But CBTI often recommends the opposite. Spend less time in bed. So let's say you spend 8 hours in bed, but you only sleep 6. That's a 75% sleep efficiency. CBTI helps you raise that number by matching your time in bed to the amount of sleep you're actually getting. Well, it starts with a consistent waking time based on when you need to get up to get the kids off to school or go to work, and when your body tends to wake up naturally. Then you back into your bedtime. I'm using a CBTI app that told me to stop going to bed at 9:15 and maybe push it to 10:15 or 10:30. So if I sleep 6 hours and I spend 7 hours in bed, my efficiency has gone from 75 up to 85%. CBTI also says if you're lying awake, get out of bed. That trains your brain to associate your bed with sleep and not frustration. Here's another strategy that is kind of surprising. If you tend to ruminate at 2 a.m., don't try to solve those problems in the dark. Instead, schedule worry time during the day. Give your brain some space to process when it's actually working at full power. Then, in the middle of the night, you can remind yourself, well, you don't have to solve that problem now. It's on the calendar for 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. CBTI helps to break the insomnia cycle by shifting your thoughts, your behaviors, and your body's response to being awake. One of the best tools that I found in Goodnight Mind is a recipe for good sleep. 3 key ingredients. Number 1 is a consistent sleep window, the same bedtime and waking time every day. Number 2 is a strong sleep drive, your body's natural pressure to sleep. And number 3 is a quiet mind and body that's helped with a sleep-friendly environment. So why is sleep drive so important? Let's kind of zoom out for a minute. There are 4 stages of sleep. They cycle through every 90 to 120 minutes, 4 to 6 times a night. Stage 1 is called light sleep. That's when you're kind of barely awake. Stage 2 takes up nearly half the night, and it helps with memory and learning. Stage 3 is called deep sleep, or N3. This is the sleep that really matters the most. That's where your energy is restored, the waste is cleared out from your brain cells, and your cells are repaired. And then there's something called REM sleep. That's when your eyes are moving back and forth watching your dreams. REM helps to regulate your mood and your emotions. People with insomnia often don't just sleep less, they miss out on deep, restorative N3 sleep. For many years now, I've focused on how many hours I sleep. But I'm starting to realize it's not just about quantity, it's also about quality. And the N3 deep sleep is what I really need to prioritize. The good news is that after a bad night of sleep, our sleep drive builds up. That pressure pushes your body into deeper sleep the next night. Even if you don't sleep longer, you may actually sleep better. And I've found this to be true. So how do you build more of that sleep drive? Limit your time in bed to match how much you're actually sleeping. Avoiding naps and dozing. You can stay active during the day, mentally and physically. Cut out caffeine by noon or skip it entirely. Set a waking time that works with your body clock, not against it. You can build your bedtime around when you actually feel sleepy. Stick with that bedtime, that sleep window every day, even on weekends. If you're lying in bed wide awake, don't stay in bed. Get up. Go somewhere quiet. Do something boring. Don't scroll your phone. Wait until you're sleepy again and then go back to bed. Practice relaxation techniques during the day so that your body knows how to use them at night. Try deep breathing and guided imagery or progressive muscle relaxation. That's a thing where you tense certain muscles and relax them. And you go through your whole body, tensing your feet and relax them, your hands and relaxing them, your arms, relaxing them. If your mind's still spinning, you can distract it. Use a familiar podcast. I like one called Nothing Much Happens. Or you can listen to an audiobook that you've already heard. One that I like is Adam Smith, Wealth of Nations. Incredibly boring. You're looking for something that's interesting enough to keep your thoughts occupied, but not so interesting that it keeps you awake and it tends to lose your attention and you fall asleep. One more shift that CBTI encourages is to start thinking like a good sleeper, even if you're not. Let go of those beliefs that keep you stuck. If I don't sleep, I'm going to fall apart. I have to get 8 hours. This insomnia is ruining my life. Well, the more you obsess over sleep and insomnia, the harder it becomes to sleep. Sleep isn't just about what happens at night either. It's affected by everything you do during the day. If you wake up tired, that doesn't necessarily mean you slept poorly. Maybe you're dehydrated, or you're just stressed out by what you have to do today, or you skipped a meal. And here's maybe the biggest mindset shift of all. Stop fighting insomnia. What you resist persists. The more you try to force sleep, the more sleep slips away. So instead, practice letting go. During the daytime, take a walk, breathe deeply, be present, practice mindfulness. That's where real rest begins. Well, CBTI isn't a quick fix, but it is a proven process. And for many women, even women in menopause, it does work. Clinical trials show that about 50% of people improve in about 6 to 8 weeks. Those results also tend to last. If you want to get started now, I would highly recommend this book called Goodnight Mind. Or you can try a CBTI app or a program like Shut-Eye or Sleepio. The psychologist that I have an appointment with recommended an app called CBT-I Coach, which has a sleep diary and helps you track your sleep and walk through the CBTI steps. I'll drop links to those in the description. If you'd rather work with someone directly, which I would recommend, you can search for a CBTI trained provider at cbti.directory. For me, just understanding CBTI and trying out some of these tools has already started to shift the way I think and feel about my sleep. And that has made a difference already, just in a week or two. But there's a big difference between my insomnia and what you might be facing after menopause. There are two major physiological changes that happen during menopause, and those just don't apply to me. One of those involves estradiol, and the other involves progesterone. Both have a real impact on your sleep in ways that CBTI might not fully be able to address. And that's exactly what I'm going to cover in my next video. So click the link on this page to learn how hormone replacement therapy, especially with estradiol and progesterone, I'm talking about hormone optimization, that may help address two of the biggest physiological reasons behind your insomnia in menopause. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you'll join me in that next video.